Okay, so I'm probably one of the biggest Gojo simps out there, which is why a while back I made the impulsive decision to buy this, a replica blindfold. And I felt so freaking cool when I put it on. I was all like,
Yo, I'm
you see, but that's when I quickly realized I'm not Gojo. So with season 2 of Jujutsu Kaisen coming to a close, I just knew I had to bring something from the anime to real life. And what better than Gojo's most iconic feature is Six Eyes. Alright, if you're not familiar with Jujutsu Kaisen, basically Gojo, a super OP character, and part of that is because of his eyes, which allow him to do things like read the flow of cursed energy and fully use his limitless curse technique. And yeah, that's super cool and all. Okay, but I think the most powerful ability of Six Eyes is to see through a blindfold. And that's exactly what we're replicating in this project, because unfortunately for me, no matter how many carrots I eat, my eyes are just not that strong. And I know what you're thinking, why don't I just buy one of those see-through blindfolds and call it a day? Well, I could, but then there's no video. And be honest with me, can you actually see through that? No. And we're talking about becoming Gojo here, the most badass white-haired character in all of anime. So I want to do this thing right and be able to see so clearly, it's like I'm not even wearing a blindfold at all. And I think I can do that with this, a near-eye display. This tiny thing basically allows me to connect any HDMI input to it and see its output through this lens. So when we connect a camera to it, we can see whatever the camera sees right up in our eye. So theoretically, all I need to do is just put this behind the blindfold and bam, I'm Gojo. But that's where we run into our first problem, because in order to view anything on the display, we need to connect it to a device that can produce an HDMI output. And that's just way too much stuff to fit into a blindfold. So we're going to need to find smaller parts, which is where this little Raspberry Pi Zero comes in. This tiny computer can fit right underneath the blindfold and allows us to connect a super small camera to it, which can peek through a little cutout. So at this point I have all the basic electronics done. It's just a few components and then a Python script that displays a live feed of whatever the camera's seeing onto the screen. And you can see that right here through the near eye display. So now I just got to figure out how to attach all of this into this. Now initially I tried attaching everything straight into the blindfold, but then I realized the near eye display is just way too heavy and it causes the blindfold to sag down. So we need some kind of frame that can support all the components when we attach it to the blindfold. And I think the spare pair of glasses that came with the near eye display is perfect because we can attach everything onto its frame. So after a few hours of hot gluing, taping, cutting, and a crap ton of trial and error, I was able to fit everything in the blindfold, except for the power source. And honestly, I was considering adding a tiny LiPo battery and voltage regulator, but there is just not enough room in the blindfold. So we're just going to use an external power bank. And with everything finally attached and programmed, all that's left to do is to turn it all on and become the strongest Jujutsu sorcerer.
大丈夫。僕最強だから。挙式紫。
So yeah, despite being relatively simple, this project worked a lot better than I thought it would, and I'm actually able to do normal tasks pretty easily. Except stairs. Stairs were a little difficult. I also want to show with this project that you don't need things like 3D printers or CAD like I used in my other videos to just go ahead and make cool stuff. I honestly found that using whatever I had at my disposal to be more fun, since I could be more creative with how I put everything together. Plus there's so many more things I can add to this since it's powered by Raspberry Pi, like adding night vision and even adding features like object detection to really give the user as much information as possible, just like the actual Six Eyes. So let me know in the comments below if you want to see a part 2, and while you're at it, go ahead and drop any of your ideas for future projects. And I'll see you in the next video.